Hey family, here is an episode of Cooking with Alexis. So as you can see right now, I am cutting up an onion. I am preparing to make meatloaf. I know that some people do not eat meatloaf due to how it is ordinarily made. However, I do not touch the meatloaf with my hands. Only thing that my hands touch is when I cut up these here onions, as well as some green pepper that I'm about to cut up. So the meat itself and mixing everything, I do not touch. So I was going to show you all how I do it and just how I make my meatloaf, in case anybody wanted to try if they didn't already have their own meatloaf recipe, as Trey used to call it, aka recipe. Alright, so once again, cutting up the onion, about to cut up the green pepper. Alright, so here's the green pepper I use. It's a fairly small one. This is all that I'm going to cut up and put into it. Green peppers and onions, they make a lot of water, and so if you put too much in your meatloaf, then there tends to be a lot of juice. Now, hopefully the breadcrumbs will soak up some of that juice. Alright, so I got my green peppers chopped up. That's about how much it is. I'm going to put it here into my bowl. So once again, the only things I actually touch are the onion and the green pepper. So here I've got 2 pounds of ground beef. You can use ground turkey or ground chicken, whatever floats your boat. When I have a little extra moolah, I will buy the grass-fed organic beef. If not, I just get the regular lean ground beef. So that's 1 pound. I'm going to put this other pound in there. All right, 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm going to wash my hands off. Touch that outside packaging. I remember Auntie Lee, she would always wash her packaging before handling it. At least whenever I saw her cook, she did. Alright, so I got my ground beef. Next, we're going to add 2 eggs, lightly beaten. I'm going to put you on pause while I beat the eggs. Alright, so we got the lightly beaten eggs. Going to pour those in. 2 eggs. Then we have half a cup of milk. I don't really drink regular milk because it jacks up my stomach, so I always buy these small bottles. That way I don't feel bad if it goes bad, because I only need a little bit. And I usually drink almond milk. That's not going to go well in here. Alright, so now time to season it. Now, this is standard. I follow this McCormick meatloaf seasoning packet, but I additionally add my own seasonings. I never make the same meal twice, so you asked me what I season it with. Today I might season it with this. The next time I do it, I might season it with something else. So, but this is what I'm going to use today. Some Goya adobo. And if you ask me how much, I'm going to tell you, according to the post I saw on Facebook, I just season until my ancestors whisper, "That's enough, baby." Next one, I'm going to use this Lowry's Total Seasoning. Love this stuff. Tiki turned me on to it. When I use this, I really try not to use salt because it has salt in it. But if I do use salt, I use pink Himalayan salt, which I think is at my old house, and I need those. Oh, no, here it is. It's here. Next one, I'm using Mrs. Dash Table Blend. And now I haven't broken up the meat yet, so I might go back and add more seasoning after everything's all stirred up. Next, Miss Dash Garlic and Herb Seasoning. And you guys know Mrs. Dash is salt-free. Some garlic powder. Make sure it's garlic powder, not garlic salt. We don't want high blood pressure around these parts. I'm a huge fan of garlic powder and onion powder, so I'm never shy with those two. Next one, onion powder. Once again, make sure it's powder, not onion salt. Okay. Alright, so those are my seasonings. Now I'm going to empty in the McCormick seasoning. And lastly, 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. Alright, everything's in there. Now I'm going to stir it up. Alright, so first I'm going to use this potato masher to get everything all mixed in, kind of to break up the meat. Well, this meat isn't doing exactly what I want it to, so let's use my spoon. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to use the spoon to break it up. And get everything all mixed in. The onions and green peppers you don't have to put in first. You can put them in after you put the meat in. That's just how I did it this time to get everything out of the way. But I'm going to put this on pause because this is kind of hard to do one-handed while holding the phone. But pretty much you're going to make sure everything is mixed in together with a spoon. And your hands never have to touch the meat. And another alternative, if you don't like using the spoon, is to just put some gloves on and massage everything together with your hands. But I've been doing my meatloaf like this for years and never had to touch it. Once Grandma told me why she doesn't eat meatloaf, I was like, oh, that's a good observation. And whenever I make it, I just don't touch it. So this is just part one. I'm going to keep mixing it up. I'm going to take my meatloaf dish, spray it with some Pam, and then put the meatloaf in there, cover it up with aluminum foil. It's going to cook on, what is it going to cook on? 375 for about an hour, or until you can stick a knife through it and no meat comes out. And then I'll show you guys the sauce that I put on top. It's really easy. It's just ketchup and brown sugar, but I'll show you guys that part when I get to it. And so once everything is all mixed up, if you feel like you need to add some more seasonings to it, feel free to do so. See you guys in a bit. All right, so I just wanted to show you this part. I just poured the meatloaf into the meatloaf dish, and I just use the spoon to smash it all down to make it into a loaf. All right, you guys get the gist. Just use the spoon. You don't have to touch it to smooth it on down. You know what? I just realized I don't have any foil, so I'm gonna have to cook it without foil. But all right. Okay, family, the next part of this meatloaf is the sauce that goes on top. And if you want to make a little bit of extra sauce to dip in, you can do that. But this is it, ketchup and brown sugar. All right, ketchup. Brown sugar, babe. I get high on love like every single day. Whatever he says. Alright. I don't know how much all of that measured out to be, but this is what it looks like. And then you just mix it all together. Oops. Mix it, mix it, mix it. It turns the ketchup a little bit darker. So the meatloaf still has about 15 minutes or so to cook. According to the hour from when I put it in. So ordinarily when I cook it, I would have aluminum foil over it, but I didn't have foil, so I just did it without it. I would take the foil off now. Hold on, Ashton. Oh, he needs to go up. I would take the foil off at this point and put the ketchup mixture on and let it cook the rest of the time period. Oh. Whew. He's sitting low at the moment. So just pouring the ketchup on top of the meatloaf at the moment. And I'm just going to spread it all over the top and put it back in the oven for the duration. And then, like I said, if you want to make extra sauce, you can, and have it for dipping. All right. Okay, here's the finished product. And I'm going to cut. Oop. Look at that. Look at that there meatloaf. Yum. That's a kind of a small piece. I think I'm gonna cut me another little piece here. All right, family, if you decide to make it, enjoy. Love y'all.